Hello and welcome. I am Ruben Banerjee, the editor-in-chief of Outlook, and we are back again with another interesting issue of the magazine. We pride ourselves to be a very topical news magazine, and our latest cover, as you can see, is something very, very topical. Everyone has been talking about the state of Indian economy and Indian business, and people have been talking about the liquidity crunch, rising debts, lack of investments. And this is what our cover looks like: fear and despair in Indian ink. And we are going to talk about this with the author, the person who has authored this story, Alam Srinivas, on my right. He is a business editor, and joining us in today's conversation is also Mr. Soumitra Bose, who is our sports editor. Alam, this is a very, very topical cover: fear and despair, and this is how the cover package begins, death by date. Would you like to take the viewers through what exactly we are talking about?
I think there are a lot of factors which are responsible for the distress and stress in businesses. I think one is the slowdown in the economy, which everybody is talking about, and which is impacting several sectors like auto, FMCG, and financial sector. The other is that because of certain new policies like the bankruptcy code or the insolvency codes, now there's a process by which if you default on your loan payments, you automatically get into a process by which your companies are sold off to new buyers. Now you can also bid for them, but it's becoming more and more difficult for the original owners to buy it back. So it normally goes to a new owner.
So you lose your company.
You can. So a company you built over decades, over generations possibly, where you've given everything, you can still lose the company even if you've not done anything wrong. See, there's obviously a thing that one should go up after dishonest businessmen, and there are a lot of them, and a lot of them siphon off money, a lot of them take money out, and a lot of them use political clout to get the banks to give them more loans and to do corporate debt restructuring and stuff like that. So you need to go after that. But in this process, because it's an all-encompassing process, everybody is getting sucked into this vacuum. So nobody has any certainty about whether I will be in charge of my company 3 quarters later. And this is epitomized by what Reliance Industries, India's largest company, is doing. Even before they get into even a whiff of a problem, knowing that a slowdown is there and next few quarters could be bad and there could be cash flow problem, they already initiated a process to cut their debt to zero by March 2020. That is the kind of uncertainty which is there in India.
So what does this uncertainty translate to?
It translates to everything and anything that you can think of. It means that people will invest less, they will become risk averse, they will not want to put their money because you want to kind of increase your cash flow to first pay the loans instead of expanding or investing or growing. This will impact all the startups. If you want to make India a land of civilian startups, which is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been saying, startups, the first thing about startup is that 90% of them will fail. But if you're not going to allow them to fail naturally and like simply, and
there will be no startups.
There will be no startups.
So the intentions are right.
Yeah.
And
but the unintended consequences are like
so it's a cleansing process.
Yeah.
But a balance has to be struck.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it's a 360-degree view of the situation of what's playing out right now. And we have Mr. Bibek Debroy also, who is batting for.
Absolutely, and he's saying the right thing.
And he's saying the right thing because the intentions were at the right, were right.
Yeah.
And so, what do you think that the government can do? And they are already taking some remedial measures, I believe.
See, they are taking remedial measures on the tax front because there is also this whole thing about tax terrors and tax authorities. Because of the slowdown, government revenues have gone down. So government revenues have to be shored up because there are so many welfare schemes to be financed. So the tax authorities have been given new targets, higher targets, and they are going after rich and wealthy people. So on that front, the government has taken a lot of moves and made a lot of moves, and they are also kind of thinking of more SOPs and incentives to the taxpayer. But I think the insolvency code, because it's also very new, It's just 2.5 years old. It needs to evolve, and it will evolve through appellate tribunals, their judgment, through High Court, through Supreme Court, and that process is on. Unless that process stabilizes, this fear and uncertainty will kind of continue. It's like the GST. Till the GST kind of stabilized as a tax environment, everybody was unhappy and scared and doubtful about it.
So in the short term, what do you foresee?
I think the next 4 to 6 quarters are going to be slightly worrisome. I think we will face problems on all fronts: the GDP growth front, investment fronts, jobs, tax revenues, government revenues, and hence the deficit, and hence the borrowings. So one thing which will be better will be the banks will get their money back, but the banks will not want to reinvest it because they're also scared to give loans to new people if they default or so. So their due diligence will become more strict, and hence they will give less loans and to lesser number of people. So everything kind of gets stuck in this whole process.
There is a lot of uncertainty now. So this is, as Alam says, it's a very topical story, exhaustive story. It really portrays the way the situation right now is. So a must-buy, must-read story. And as always, we also have some very interesting stories, and apart from business and Indian economy. And one story that we are very proud of that we have done, and it's a kind of an exclusive, it's about Indian sports stars, the Bravehearts. Actually, truly, they are truly the India's fearless. They have been competing in international sports meet, and what makes them stand apart is that these are the sports people who are living on borrowed organs. Shomitra, you did the story. Will you tell us a little more?
Well,
this is how it looks like. These are truly the India's fearless.
Actually, I think it's just the right balance to all the doom and gloom that Alam's story says.
This really lifts you up.
There is no death, but life after death in this story. So this is exactly what we have got here in this issue, which means that people who have not had, you always get a second chance in life. But these people have got a third chance. Some of them have got a 7th chance. Imagine somebody playing an active sport after 7 heart attacks. Imagine somebody who's had 2 kidney transplants, a leukemia patient running 5,000 meters. Imagine a person with a kidney transplant and with a cochlear transplant, can't hear properly, doing a sprint dash in cycling. These are things that you normally associated with professional people.
This is truly a phenomenal story, because I have heard and read about Paralympics and all that. But here are 15 of them. We are 50. We are the World Transplant Games is just been happening in UK, and 15 Indians are participating. Some of them they are living on borrowed organs like kidney, borrowed heart, as Shomitra says, borrowed liver. And very interestingly, even some of the donors are participating.
Yes.
Like people who have given a kidney, and they are doing 5,000 meters, marathons, decathlons. Unheard of. And it's such a story of human spirit.
Amazing. I mean, it's celebrating life to the epitome. I mean, you can't think of. It's a life force. What human being this 15 is maybe just the tip of the iceberg. Many people don't even know about these games. The awareness is not there. The Indian Olympic Association does not know about it. The government does not know about it.
They are not aware. They are not aware.
There are 2 national bodies. They do not know about it. We have an All India body which does not even function. It is not registered. Most of these guys who have gone there paid from their own pocket.
Wow.
So this is an amazing thing. It's the passion, the drive, the urge to live.
And after we went to the press, and this is what we have done, we have profiled all these 15 people, great characters. There is so much to learn from them. And some of them, because after we went to the press, the World Transplant Games was happening when we went to the press in UK, and some of these participants have actually won medals.
Actually, as of now, we won 2 gold medals and 3 silvers, which is a record, because we never had 15 people participating in these games. And mind you, these games have been active since 1978, and Indians have started participating in bits and pieces from 2011. And it's only in 2019 that we've had 14 people going with a manager. And this manager is unique in the fact that she's a lady who's the first double heart transplant, a former athlete. Her name is Reena Raju, and she's taken the entire initiative to take all these 15 together. So this is an amazing story of life.
It's a story of it's a human story.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And apart from that, we have some other very interesting stories. This is what one story is all about. Like India and Pakistan, the ties have been very, very frosty of late. Balakot and so much has happened. Kashmir 370. But this story, as it says, there is this locust invasion. We are threatened by a locust invasion, and Indian and Pakistani officials are working together. They are cooperating, they are meeting despite all that is happening between these two countries, and we are trying to stave off this swarm of locusts from taking over our agricultural fields.
Sports knows barriers, pest knows
no barriers. And very interestingly, these Yemen started their journey from West Asia, Yemen. They have traveled through Iran. They are already in Pakistan, and right now we are trying to stave them off. And again, a story of hope, that it shows that India and Pakistan, whatever the difficulties might be, like these two countries can still come together for good. Yeah. So do pick up this issue of Outlook. As always, I promise you, it's a great issue, fantastic stories. Do pick it up, and we'll see you next week again. Thank you.